Yeah,
Alright,
I
everybody
think that
make
was
sure to
definitely
check
what.
this down. First pick, get wrecked. Get wrecked. Wait, I gotta take him out. What the hell? Supposed to hide him. Alright.
Usually a bug.
I just hit
But you hit
somebody else.
sunflower. You
Oh,
have
I
to
did?
respin.
What the hell? Alright, there we go. I was ill prepared for this. My bad.
Oh, I was right, but second.
Alright, IB Gen, get your ass in here. If I just click hide choice, you disappear, right?
What am I
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah.
You're
You're on
part
group
of our team 2. You're team 2.
Okay.
Everyone remember your number.
Everybody remember your number. Alright, Callie.
Am I on
Your team
team
3.
3 or? Okay.
Yeah, you're team 3. So team 1 is just War Initiate right now. So this next person is gonna be with War. And it's gonna be Cleave. Crazy how like it wants to stop, but then it goes, let me go a little further. You know what'd be crazy if like somehow all group B ended up together still? That'd be freaking maddening. Alright, Tango, you're going to team 2.
Tango.
Alright.
MVP.
The MVP that never was.
Yeah, I know. That was crazy.
Good boy, going team 3. Alright. I mean, these teams seem pretty balanced so far.
Someone's gonna forget their number.
Alright, Zema, your team 1. If you forget your number, I'm gonna cry. Sunflower, you are team 2. And Eclipse, you are team 3. I like how Al is the only orange person left in there. Messiah going over to team 1. Congratulations, man. Team 2, Don, it's you. I haven't been paying attention, but is anybody with their teammates?
No comment.
Oh shit. Brandino, you're going to team 3.
Where I tear off my group A jersey. Put on my team 3 jersey.
True. There's only 3 left. Oh. Evo, enjoy team 1.
Dodgeball all over again.
And the last 2. Rurika, you are officially team 2, and that means Bananasaur, congratulations, you're team 3.
Team 3 is
Rah!
stacked.
Team
Team
3's the
3
goat.
is stacked.
Alright, can we figure out who's facing who?
Yeah. Well, everybody should face everybody at least one time, right? Or no?
Oh yeah, but like what match starts? Because like there's only 3 teams.
Oh, okay. How do you guys want to do that? You guys want to flip a coin, or like what do you guys want to do? You want me to do
Just
another
put
input?
1, 2, 3 on the wheel and then spin it. And the
I'm
first
a
2
coin
you hit.
flipper. Yeah.
1, 2, 3. All right, bet. You guys just like use the picker wheel for everything.
Absolutely.
What champion you're gonna play? Picker wheel.
True.
All right, so it's gonna be team
Versus-
2 versus
50-50.
Me.
Alright, we're up first.
Team 2 versus team 3. As it should be. Team 1 is the 1 seed, so
True.
clearly that's what
True.
that means.
All right, I'm gonna make a team 3 group chat or chat.
I'll make
voice
a
chat.
I'll make a team 2.
Sounds good. And then one of you guys make a team 1, or I guess you team 1 can just stay here for now. Actually, it's probably fine.
Wait, there's 2 number 3s.
No, there's only. Oh, they probably made it on accident, maybe. No, it can't be, right? I think there's something else going on there. Nonetheless, Callie, aren't you with you're with
Three.
Bananasaur? Yeah.
Yep.
All right, guys. How you feeling? You guys think you guys can take these two teams no problem?
All right, I'm gonna move over to
Wait,
casting
let
now.
me look at the teams. I'm not even sure who's on whose team.
Setting up here. Had to change some settings, but welcome all. If anyone happened in on that, we'll be having all-stars matches to sound off the end or the beginning of LOLMidwest's Sweat League that had just finished. I think. I don't know. But yeah. Not quite sure how long it will be until the matches begin. So I think it was team 3 versus 2. Maybe I'm wrong. So I'll swap the thing to this in the meantime. I'll put some music during this here intermission while things get settled in. And yeah, we'll take it from there. If you are in the LOLMidwest Discord, just keep your ears peeled for a ping in the Rec League chat. I'll be putting out once the matches actually finally start. Actually, custom game seems to be being created. Maybe it is already. Unsure if there's gonna be like planning sort. Tango Fish? Ah, is that their name? Brandy? Alright, I got my invite. Cool. Enjoy some pre-match mediation in the meantime. Roles being discussed. Pick bans being discussed openly. The text chat between the two parties. Ah. So, on S coin frog style, DK. Brandino's team is team. Oh. There's the team name. Swap draft. Cool. And give me just a bit to fit the in-game settings. SCFSCK. Alright. Oops. Or yeah, that's right, that's right. Alright, draft has begun. Setting up the ping right now. I didn't have it set up preemptively. Speed up the song. There we go. Alright, bands are finished up. Froggy style. Oh. Yeah, coin froggy style. S coin froggy style CK versus Moss. Blue side bands starting off with Braum, Nico, and Vi into Moss's bands of Shen, Misfortune, and Kaisa. First pick blue side going to Ezreal. Moss responding with Senna and Scion, all very high-end decisions with the picks and bans. Both teams know each other exceptionally well, making for a fiery experience for everyone. As the blue side's running out the clock, uncertain of what they want to respond to this Senna Scion monstrosity they will be going up against. Out comes the Teemo. As Baus once said, Scion counters Teemo. So, we shall see it possibly be overturned by Brandino. I'm assuming if he's going top. I forget. I don't think everyone has a locked role at the moment. I'm just going off what's assigned by the drafting. Or in the lobby at the moment. Alright, and there comes the Nami pick to pair off with the Ezreal. Moss giving a lot of aggression vibes off with the Zillion Hover, only to swap to Karma in the end, deciding that it would be the best option for them into the Nami and Ezreal. Bullying versus bullying. As out comes the second wave of bans. First one going to Ari. As unless Ezreal has picked for mid, will be somewhat of a targeted ban at that point. Silas being in the response of S-Coin Froggy style CK. As Moss's final ban for the wave opts into Twisted Fate with a response of Vladimir. You must delete the safe early games. Only allow safe late games to be prohibited from entry. Just ignore the Senna. As Moss decides on Hecarim, you see quite the dazzling color scheme of Moss thus far. Quite green, aqua, and teal with a hint of red. Perfectly ambient environments to grow such. An acute reflection of their development within the league over these past many months and beyond. As S-Coin Froggy style CK decides on Camille for their next pick. Which, wait, does that mean it is a Teemo in the jungle? It just might be. As the final pick goes towards Galio. And Moss unsure of how to react to this. They had thought that their top laner had already been decided, only to be countered by the Camille pick. But what is this? An Mbessa hover. Possibly going for the mid lane, or maybe the top. Could see a Scion mid into the Galio. How does it work? I think it favors the Galio early, then Scion later. But who knows? Either side could go either route. It is just that devastating of a display of both sides' power. As the R's come out. as Coin Froggy style CK ready. Just waiting on Moss. As the official draft commences. And we will finally see where these picks are destined to be showcased. As Team 1 has all this time to examine their future competitors for their match to come. I am unsure of how many matches are being played in each game. I would assume best of ones until the final, which would be a best out of 3. But I should probably ask. Alright, message sent. We shall see. Alright, and it indeed looks like a Camille into Mbessa top. So each side threw off the other. As to what the expectations may have been. What is that? A Karma mid? Ah, it looks to be best of ones across the board. Best of ones across the board, with best of 3s being based on we shall see. There is the Senna Scion bot. Oh, so many misdirections throughout. Swapping over the transitionary screen now. The ingenuity throughout this draft, one cannot hardly fathom, with a significant amount of physical damage on the end of Moss, while S Coin Froggy style CK has an absolute abundance of magical damage, with Camille sprinkling some true and Ezreal being the fair brunt of the physical. Shall see which side is able to spec into survival more, or if one may just so happen to snowball upon the other. We've got a few minutes before the match actually begins. Now time for the evaluations. Camille into Mbessa. Want to think that Camille possibly has the upper hand, but then there was that Mbessa final pick, so they may seem very confident into the matchup. Teemo to Hecarim. I want to say that it's a bit problematic for Hecarim to deal with, but once again, he picked himself into it. A lot of misdirection, once again, from Moss's side. Brimming with the confidence that they so have. To gather that early pick onto the Karma. To hit that late pick of Galio. Unsuspectingly. Turning it from a questionable matchup to one that will surely be a nightmare for Galio to be dealing with as a melee into a range, and not just any range, Karma. Karma into a tank That's not gonna be a very dead mid laner there. While in the bot lane, you've got the Senna supporting the Scion into the Ezreal and Nami. And while we may have seen Bounce have issues into a Teemo, we surely saw Scion Bounce absolutely destroy Faker up in the bot lane inner tower bush. Well, the Gromp bush. That one time. Which truly crowned him as the greatest League of Legends player of all time. We shall perhaps see that replicated here. To add yet another legend to the league. From which of... I'm sorry. And we are off. Yo, spinning pinwheel. Please stop. Here we are. Admonish these here skins. There is the My Little Pony Hecarim, Hextech Galio, and the classic Lumberjack Scion, the purveyor of many a PTSD from mid laners in Season 1. And 2. And I think the first half of 3. Please load. I can only assume there was a pause at the start. Mayhaps. Maybe? Game? Okay. As we are finally underway.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Ooh. And we may be heading into a bit of a bloody level 1.
Until minions spawn.
This is just a wait. The enemy has Scion, they know that it's dangerous to walk in themselves. But I'm not quite sure that Moss has a team that wants to go aggressive at level 1. Maybe at the very least Karma could abuse them, throw some random RQ, but deciding not to. There is Scion with Moss.
Minions have spawned.
There comes the early ward, catching out the Hecarim, giving him a bit of free gold on the start, but also slowing his jungle rotation. Senna gathering her stacks fairly healthily. a lot of hurt coming out to Mbessa early on. Brandino handling it quite well. There comes the flash for the ignite. Brandino just gotta wait on that level 2 for repel. There it comes. Puts more pressure on Tarika. Nice! Stopped that jump back for the first blood. For S Froggy style coin something. CK. I got close. S coin Froggy style CK. Okay. Unfortunately, Camille was not able to crash the wave. Does have the opportunity to now, however. Mbessa will soak up what XP she can. But teleport is down. Will be operating at a power loss. But does have a refillable potion to work off of at least. Here comes the trading, but bone plating was up on Camille as well as her passive, so it doesn't take all that much in the trading. There comes the repel yet again, misses the stun. Trying to chase down. Abilities are all on cooldown. W about to be back up. Mbessa also working off very high cooldowns herself, however. Ward is destroyed. Here comes Teemo. No escape for Mbessa, opting to move forward. Do what damage she can dish out. But should be going down. No! Shield! And dies to Teemo's poison. Quite a rough beginning for her. That is 1 kill away from the first feat for S coin Froggy styled CK. Ooh, Senna taking a lot of hurt from Ezreal. Minions hitting him a bit in kind. But Nami fortunately there to offset the damage taken. Sion being able to match the farming quite easily. Almost missed the cannon. Senna doing some hurt onto Ezreal, who is going aggressive. Nami bubble misses, but Teemo's going around the back. This is not looking good for the Senna and Sion. As out comes the normal onto Sion. As the view keeps going in and out on the two. Damage ticking, should get out with his life just barely. Very nice escape. Cutting it close, but both summoner spells are up. For Moss's bot lane. Hold on a sec. Alright. So aggression and Mbessa trying to poke, taking a lot of hurt because of that significant item difference there. Drastically underestimating the power that Camille has with those 2 long swords and a cloth armor. Honestly, kind of surprising how close their items are to each other. Considering the situation. Alright, Camille going aggressive into the Mbessa yet again. Knocking her down for 1/5 of her health. Potion popped a bit early from Mbessa, however. But considering it is Camille, you kind of don't want to be too low, so the Doran shield is a bit problematic, I think, for her to have. Maybe in this instance, more Offensive power probably would have been helpful. Teemo rounding up the back for a gank. Hextech Drake safely going to Moss. As here comes the tower dive attempt. There comes the Galio ultimate. 2 hits of the tower towards the Camille, not gonna do anything. That is the 4th death onto the Mbessa. Well coordinated dive. Does have teleport to return to lane quickly. Not missing a thing in his lane against the Karma, while providing ample map presence. Wonderful job. Ezreal going aggressive, gets caught into the root. Here comes not quite the knock up as the bubble came out, had to let go soon. Ezreal putting up a lot of hurt as I have to back up to see what is happening here. Alright, so Teemo was trying to take some camps. Hecarim spotted him out as they will start fighting. But Hecarim does not care about those blinds. Camille trying to turn. Will get disengaged on by the Mbessa. Fortunately, Q1 from Camille is not nearly as strong as her Q2. So Mbessa will land her first kill to recover from a lot of that pain that she'd been dealt. Only a 500 gold lead on the Camille at this point. Void Grubs are up for the first time this match. Karma locking down the Galio, whose health is dropping below half. Out comes the Senna, doing what she can. Root comes out, forces the Galio flash with just over 200 life. Tango trying to go for a greedy recall. Mill does place a ward onto the Void Grubs to make sure they are safe for her jungler to swing by at whatever time they would like to. As Galio is maintaining his posture in the mid lane quite well. He's got plenty of mana, Karma not so much. Karma also does not have access to her mana book. So it is putting a bit of stress onto her ability to clear and everything. As the first wave of Void Grubs will go out to S. S coin froggy style CK. I didn't have that time. Ooh, big tower platings going to Don Don and Tango. As Brandino does have his Sheen at the moment. Shield for Mbessa comes out. Bone plating up. Takes a couple of hits, mitigates the damage. Hecarim hovering around mid, but not really all that much he can do. Galio ultimate is back up. Could possibly look towards making something happen around the map. Teleport from Karma. As she does have her mana book now. Teemo on the bottom side of the map. Looking to do something here, walking to the Tribush. It is not warded, and he knows this. Enemy ward gets pinged, thanks to his rune. As Mbessa trying to turn on Camille. Q1. Repel not managing to connect. As Hecarim comes in the nick of time to punish Camille for the aggression yet again. Nice reactive gameplay. Let's see if he can keep the ball rolling. Get his team into a more comfortable spot. As we did hear the Scion ultimate come out. Ezreal and Nami turning. He's taking a lot of hits. Lots of health items to supplement himself though. Galio ult did come out, but nothing came of it. Alright, as Teemo may be surrounded here. There comes the flash root from Senna. Karma tethering as well into Hecarim ult for the kill. As Mbessa and Camille duking it out yet again. Karma bullying Galio. Getting some grasp stack. As that will be the second Drake going to Moss. With the next Void Grubs up in, looks like 3 minutes. Some more fighting going on between the Mbessa and Camille. Camille yet again a tricky spot. Does have her first item complete, however. Pharma taking a lot of hurt, but her mantra is on cooldown actually. Hecarim coming in from behind. Will get taunted, but I don't think much is going to come from this. Did charge an ultimate from Nami, however. Ooh, Sion aggroing onto Ezreal. Getting those slows landed. We'll back up in a sec. See what happened yet again. Oh my god. How do I miss it twice there? I'm so sorry. Alright, Karma is hugging the tower. Perfect taunt into the knockup. With Karma coming in from the rear, pressuring. As Moss is trying to take them off that tower, but it is very hard for him. Karma does finish off her Malignant. As Hecarim walked into Teemo's jungle. Woo! He does manage to die to that burn. Those ticks lasting forever, man. Teemo running his way up top. And Mbessa does spot him, but decides not to run from it. Lands the ult. Gets deleted pretty quickly. Mostly by the Teemo community. Assists do not hurt in the least, especially when Dark Ring is in play. Dark Seal. Alright. Ezreal in a pretty dangerous spot, but does avoid the root. Sion ultimate is not ready. Teleport came out from Galio. Lands the taunt onto Sion. Health going down quite rapidly. Don does not have flash available to him. Lots of pings and teleports coming out. And Mbessa and Karma coming over to prevent the escape of these two. Ezreal goes down with Galio not long after. Teemo, Nami come around. Camille actually taking a tower up in the top lane herself. This will be a second tower. I think that they are on 2 feats at the moment as well. As a result of it. 1 feat left. Oh no, no. They already finished their feats a while ago. My bad. Or might have been with that tower. I don't know. Looks like there is positioning for Rift Herald coming in soon. Sion is on the bottom side by himself for just a tad longer, kind of hovering him. Only a level down onto the Camille. Sound all coming out. The direction not... Why does it do that? So, okay, Nami did die. I apologize. Whenever in free cam, collisions seem to cause the camera to jank up. Alright, as Teemo goes down to the Galio that came in from behind, ultimate coming up, hits the Scion and Hecarim, followed up by another re-engage by the Galio. 3-man taunt! Galio takes out the Karma and last hit on the Scion. That is a beautiful taunt by good boy there. Very reminiscent of old Galio. My boy. 3-man taunts are always so nice to see. With 2 kills coming from it, even more so. Moss starting to fall behind here. Hecarim had a fairly strong early game, but seems to be struggling now. Still not finished his second item. Despite that 4-kill advantage he had relatively early. But will this be the time for Hecarim caught out of position when he tries to go a bit too aggressive. Scion knockup misses all of its targets as Galio is going very aggressive to keep everyone in place as Zambessa is separated from her allies. Ezreal comes out, hits all 3. Camille comes in to try and snag someone in the end. As Senna gets out, dies to a burn, not sure which burn. Camille did, was probably Ignite. Yeah, that seems right. That will be 3 more deaths from Moss, as this will be the first dragon going to S-Coin Froggy style CK. May be the beginning to Infernal Dragon stacking. That is a lot of power that they will be unlocking on each successive secured objective from there. That was very bad phrasing. Alright. How will we see Moss recover from this? Quickly had the gap widened by roughly 2,000 gold more. Not having a carry at their disposal is probably going to hurt them in the long run, especially with how comfortably Ezreal has been able to play out the match thus far. He'll grabbing that scythe. Galio going aggressive onto the Scion. Ezreal missing a couple of his abilities. Scion all comes out with Hecarim winding behind to keep the Galio in check. It looks like he will die to the Hecarim. It seemed like he was probably trying to allow the Senna to get the kill, but opted not to once it started to take a bit too long. As Karma takes out bot side outer turret for the side of Moss. As Coin Froggy style opts to head for the Rift Herald here. With what's-his-face, Ratatosk. Totally not his actual name. Atacon has spawned. Are they going to be going for a bait? Bessa blind checking the bush. Camille ultimate comes out, should seal her fate. Kill going to the Teemo. Effectively a no-you into checking the status of the objective. Being on an ahead team with the Teemo makes it a bit dangerous. Senna walking in will hit that mushroom only to get deleted. Camille and Poison compounded upon each other. Galio teleport comes up to push the wave. No. Angling towards the mid, will spot the Hecarim. Probably to let him pass here, as Scion and Karma are likely to escape. Not quite managing to get the tower. But there it is. Will give his life for it. Ult to try and get out as Karma dies off to the side. As Sion teleports out safely. Bessa having access to serpents. Shields that she'll be utilizing it against are mostly on Camille, some on Galio. But I'm not actually... Yeah, it should be able to proc on Galio. But... I guess Nami gives a bit of a shield. Not quite sure how the value of serpents at this point will be able to actually factor into what's going to be going on. Alright. Nami and Galio possibly looking to put some more pressure onto Mbessa here, as she preemptively backs up before even Vision caught wind of the fish. As Camille seems to be the target here, has a 100 gold bounty on her. Teleport coming in from the Mbessa, likely attempt to lock her down. Was unneeded. Kill going off to Karma. Has 2 Fiendish Codexes on her. Alright, will be a 4v5 for this next upcoming dragon in 30 minutes, but Camille does have teleport available to her. And there is still a substantial gold lead. Mostly in Teemo's pocket. Or actually Galio. Alright. Ultimate comes out. Teemo, the main target here. Galio all comes out. Taunt, however, locks in the Scion, who will get out safely. Rika, low on energy. Cooldowns are available, however. We'll see how this goes. Everyone on Moss is quite low. Unsure if they will be able to fight this. 2-man taunt by the Galio Blast Cone. Out comes the Hecarim ultimate, lands on no targets as he tries to get out. Camille ultimate is down for some time longer, but Hecarim should be dead. Mbessa immediately afterwards, followed up by Scion. That is 3 kills. Additionally for Point Froggy style CK. Yes, Point Froggy style CK. As they once again turn towards this Infernal Drake, second out of 4 for the soul, but will we even see that 4th drag come into play at this rate? Take a peek at those AP ratios. Almost 400 onto the Teemo. Ooh. Baron coming up in 45. Ward coming down from Karma. Make sure there won't be an early play, but will get stopped by Nami's own ward. Control 1 at that. Ezreal really banking on Senna stepping onto that mushroom there. Does not manage to secure the kill. Alright, looks like we may divulge into a pseudo ARAM situation as the repel lands on no targets. Camille's health is dropping like mad, 200 remaining. Hecarim coming from the side, looking for someone to hit. Lands on the Teemo, but has to get out quickly. Does get ulted by the Camille. No one to give him support, unfortunately, as he will go down without a fight. Camille, once again, looking out for a target of her own. And Bessa being the next one down. Target number 3. Hell up yet again, goes over the wall. Lands onto the Scion. Shield comes up just in time to save his life as Brandino does go down to Senna. But everyone on Moss is quite low here. Defending the tower is going to be very problematic of an idea to do. Don taking a lot of hurt, but it doesn't matter to him. so long as he can mitigate the tower and prevent its full-on destruction. S-Coin Froggy style CK is doing a very swell job at maintaining a steady lead. Unfortunately for them, Moss is not permitting the lead to get too far apart, but the primary objectives that will lead to the tides of this battle swaying even further in either direction will be coming up soon. It's very unfortunate of the Hecarim being isolated in that fight for Moss, as it did lead to another death of their allies as well. As Galio going hard aggressive onto the Mbessa, taking a lot of hurt himself, but it doesn't matter as Camille is there. As Camille then rotates to the mid. They may be trying to position for a Baron hit at the moment, but doing that with your opposing jungler live can be a bit difficult, especially when it is known that you are working on it. But it looks like it will not be challenged. As everyone on blue side will be Baron buffed. And Bessa up in 3 seconds. Next Infernal Drake up in a minute. Drake pings coming out by Karma. Lead still sitting around the 4K mark as Hecarim running out to try and do something to the Ezreal, but his Essence Flux gets him to a safe enough spot on his evacuation. Out comes the flash. Taunt's attempt gets interrupted, but a knockup does land onto the Hecarim alongside a 3-man tidal wave hit, providing ample entry for blue side to eviscerate Moss. With 2 kills in Moss's favor, but unfortunately Ezreal and Camille, both 2 strong tower killers, still being alive. As Camille finishes off Mbessa with Ignite, this might just be the end of game 1. With 18 seconds left on the revival timers for Moss. And it does seem to be the case. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hecarim is up, Karma's up, Senna's up, and the GGs are down. Game 1 of this round robin goes to S-Coin Froggy style CK. Right. And the second match should be going up soon, I hope. Pending till then. Actually, do I have anyone on Team 1 of my friends list? I should have changed the title before that match began. It was still on drafting. There's 6 people in one of the VCs. Chimustis is team's VC at the moment, so I'm assuming something's going up for dialogue. I'll just wait it out. DM sent out. Oh. I was friends with someone there. Okay. Alright, and it seems they've settled upon the name 5Gays. Where is the drafts? Okay. Alright. Looks like their positions are now in order. Or initiate top, Avalon jungle, Zima mid, Shire 80 carry, Cleave support. I will be back at the start of this draft. I'm gonna go get me some water. I feel very thirsty. Oh yeah, if you're in the Midwest, please stay hydrated. I am back. And it looks like S-Coin Froggy Style CK has been going pretty hard on the Enchanter end of things. While 5 gays have opted for Caitlyn, Vi, and Nico. Huh. I'm noticing something. Froggy Styles bands going towards Lee Sin, Silas, Karma, Kali, and Olaf, with 5 gays taking out Lucian, Teemo, Pantheon, Galio, and Talina. First pick, second phase, going to Renekton. Just cycling. Landing on Urgot. There is the Sejuani pick. And Mel to finish off S-Coin Froggy Style CK's team. Five gays final pick going to Aurora. I'm not sure where the focus is for 5 gays, but there is at least a fair amount of pick and isolation. But going Diver and something similar into a team with Ivern and Morgana seems a bit dangerous. We'll see how it plays out though. Unsure where the Morgana or Ivern could be heading. Eh. Hmm. Unsure. Ivern's top? Okay. Right. When the actual draft begins, I will swap it to the client because I am puzzled as to where everyone may be going. If it is Ivern top, then that should mean that Sejuani's in the jungle, Mel is mid, and Morgana's bot, and support. Whereas 5 gays is call it composition is notably easier to figure out the placements for. And yep, is indeed an Ivern top. Giving me war flashbacks. make sure that the in-game is set up properly. It is. Alright, yep. So Ivern into Urgot. I think it might be problematic for Urgot, as Ivern does outrange him. But yeah, it really just kind of depends on how Ivern handles his spacing. Brandino's shown that they are very good at the top. Unsure. When names are hidden, it sucks. Cause I can't go off of things as easily. So I'll just stick with champion knowledge then, not player knowledge. Sejuani into Vi, always kind of iffy. Vi goes in, Sejuani can, stop or follow ups on stuff, and Sejuani can't really reverse it down herself unless like the enemy team is just so far ahead. Then there is Bell, whom is annoying. Very much annoying. Mel and Morgana together, that can't be fun to deal with. Then I guess Jinx on. That's a lot of roots. A lot of roots. Like, both sides have pick potential. Sejuani is the only one that has any sort of diving lead play. I guess Ivern kind of helps with that as well, somewhat. What? Yeah, there's just a lot of pick on both sides. Not a whole lot of AoE nuke, however. Like, there is Nico and Aurora, but not really much outside of that. But we'll see how stuff gets taken care of. A lot of magic damage, yet again, on S coin Froggy style CK side, while 5 gaze fairly well mixed. I'd say that the I'm not sure where the stage skew is put, because like Jinx is really good late. Ivern is fine in the mid game, but whether he does well late kind of depends on some things. Sejuani is just relatively solid throughout. Her early game isn't particularly bad. I want to say that her early is kind of on par with Vi. No melee champions make use of her W, however, which is unfortunate. Morgana, solid protection into Vi, like really freaking solid, and Urgot, kind of. But if Urgot grabs before all that, Black Shield won't save you from the meat grinder. As we head in-game yet again. Right. Chat started. A lot of pings going on the top side. they want to cheese the Ivern.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Seconds until minions spawn.
nothing happened. The early game in the top didn't quite get much other than bush safety for Urgot. There comes the poke. Fairly decent trade for the Urgot. Ooh, yet again. There comes the flip. Forcing the flash out. Follow. Ooh, that was a lot. That was so much damage from that. Ooh, trading coming out. Brute doubling up onto the Jinx from the Miko. Unfortunate Q. Was a very nice route from Morgana for the disengage. Flip from Urgot coming out yet again. A lot of hurt onto Ivern. Might not want to walk up at this point though. Your exit's kind of being closed. Flip is up. But no mana. No mana! As Brandino scores the second kill in the top lane. 1-1. Teleport coming out. Lots of pings from the bot side. Ooh. Snap trap hits. Nico, root misses, however. Not really too much. Vi coming on the side. Mel getting pressured. Knocked to half health. Will be taking a lot of hurt from the Aurora. W comes out. Aurora does not throw her Q. I think she was probably low on mana there. She did use it shortly thereafter on the minion. Urgot going down yet again, this time to Sejuani. 1 kill away from the first feat. For S-Coin Froggy style CK. Black Shield coming out. Ooh. Mel getting attacked yet again. W on cooldown. There came a lot of hurt out of the Aurora there. Getting kind of dicey to step up. First dragon attempt. 4 or 5 gaze. And it will go down. Windrake at 6 minutes. Grubs will be spawning in just shy of 2 minutes. Daisy's up at the moment, so. Urgot might be unhappy with this pathing as the first feat goes to Ivern and his team. As Sejuani rounds the outside. Tries to go on Caitlyn, does land the knockup. Caitlyn does have Cleanse and Flash available to her, still holding it for something more dangerous with her team not supporting. Root comes out onto Aurora, a lot of hurt as the Q return finishes off Sejuani. Wait a minute, Ivern's just broken. Yeah, when him and Daisy are both benefiting from the on-hit effects of being inside of a bush. And Urgot opts to walk through his minions. Urgot going aggressive. Ivern going aggressive onto Urgot. Sejuani has Nico coming to push her off. As Grubs up in 13 seconds. Doesn't look like there will be a contestation. Blue side. Meshire doing great work avoiding the skill shots. Would take her down. There comes the flip onto the Ivern. Daisy up in a second. There are two allies of Urgot up on the top side at the moment. And Vi does have ultimate ready. Q gets cancelled. Melroot comes out as Vi gets annihilated by the execute. Urgot flashes to try and flip, fails. Will go down to Mel yet again. Mel will sustain themselves for another wave or two. Is maxing E second. It will be the notably stronger route. Nice avoidance of the Morgana Q there by Caitlyn. Vi is hovering bot, waiting for the enemy to get up to the tower. Decides to go early, lots of flashes coming out as Morgana goes down. Vi and Nico flashes pinged. Jinx flash was not pinged out. Ooh. Nice super mega death rocket. Caitlyn doing very well with these skill shots, but doesn't avoid that one. I was gonna say, usually when Jinx hits level 6, Jinx will sometimes hide her level 6 to make it even harder to actually react to her ultimates coming out. But that wasn't really the case there. So much damage coming out of the Morgana. Nico on the side, might get the root, does land it, out comes the ultimate, double knockup, but it's quite a bit of damage from the Sejuani. Will she get taken down? Yes, she will, but not before dying. Well, she did get it before dying herself, but Jinx died with her, so 2 for 1, with the one being support, so not altogether a bad trade. But Mel is getting quite a bit of gold. Might turn out to be dangerous in the long run, but we'll see. Fortunately, Sejuani has 2 of the team skills, so the gold distribution isn't ideal at the moment. Alright, second dragon attempt underway. This time Hextech Drake. Sejuani is hovering, but I don't think that she will try and go for a dive and for a steal here. She tried, not successful. Good root. Or no, the root hit the clone. But those 2 deaths in exchange for getting second dragon. That was Chemtech, not Tech, my bad. Doesn't appear that the second feat has been clinched yet by either side. Only 3 Void Grubs in total were taken. Topside tower seems to be favoring the Urgot, however. Ivern, not Urgot. Yeah, tower down to half, but Vi not really paying any mind. Bit too difficult to support your nearly dead ally like that. Ivern Q comes out. We'll be bubbling the tower aggro with Daisy. Oh yeah, that's right. If Daisy takes a tower shot, the damage doesn't amp up the way that it does for a champion, I would assume. That kind of lets Ivern significantly saferly bounce bounce tower aggro with themselves. Oh. Morgana not realizing the bush was warded. Lots of damage coming out to Nico. Mel also taking a lot from Vi herself. Out comes the Caitlyn ultimate. Barrier stops. Oh no, it was Sarah. Stops a lot of it. Bounty going to Vi. Just over 700 gold. Flash W from the Aurora to take out the Morgana. 3, 4 in the bot lane. Trying to take out Jinx. Should be successful. Root came out, landed successfully. As you do see those flowers starting to pop up down there. It's Ivern once again going very aggressively into Urgot. Daisy not yet up, but he's not really getting hurt himself. Urgot rushed for the Black Cleaver. But Ivern not having actually built any armor items doesn't really get affected by it all that much. Just dropped by 20 from, what was that, 4 stack? Flash came out to avoid the Aurora damage, sending Daisy out to Aurora, but team was too far to be able to leash onto his Q for the recast as he gets pulled into the meat grinder. Q missing, but so much pressure on that champion. Mel using teleport to stay inside of the fight while not being cornered. Lands root on a single target, won't be able to do much more than that, however. Super Mega Death Rocket comes out, hits the target, but will not kill Nico. Topside 4-man rotation from red team in time for the Rift Herald should be a very safe take. Vi working her way to the top side. Mel recalling is visible on that ward during the recall. Will get out. Ivern in a bit of a pickle, does avoid the Vi Q, does have his ultimate at the ready, but he is taking a lot of hurt from that Trinity Force. And, you know, 4-kill Aurora as well. Bounty popping up onto the Caitlyn and Vi. First feats have already been taken. Alright. Ooh, red team manages to secure the dragon despite not having the jungler on hand. Early smite from Sejuani. Used flash forward as well. Urgot dying yet again, the Ivern Sejuani. No Dark Seal still. Oh, there is one on Mel. Guess that's fine. Yeah. Red team's rotations and everything have been quite on point. Most of the pain thus far has been from the top side. Urgot just kind of struggling with the Ivern and a lot of rotations to put him off. But the game being held even is pretty darn good right now. Having Caitlyn be strong is generally good, but when it's into a Mel, it could get kind of dangerous. Ooh, Caitlyn ult coming out. Lots of lockdown right there from the Vine Nico. By flashing ult off onto the Mel, who is sitting alongside that Aurora wall, flashes out. 1/5 of her health remaining, taking a little... Nice flash from Zema to finish off Mel. She's going for a little bit of extra damage onto Sejuani, who will get out safely. Ivern getting caught out, will not be chain CC'd, at least not this time. Daisy making it out by the stones of her Urgot tried to take the jungle camps, doesn't manage to take the main one. Is what it is, another tower going down, this time to Aurorian topside. Fair push into the enemy's side of the map by red team thus far. It's already Dragon Soul actually, for red team. Ooh, Jinx caught out of position, will flash over the wall away from Vi. Putting their... Vi fishing. Jinx is on a ward. Assault and what's it called is back up, but it is not needed. Still got a bit over a minute before Infernal Drake and Soul Point is active, however. Red team will be going for Atacon. Is it going to be another steal attempt? Nope. As red team will be successful with the secure. There come the pings and the reset. Game don't freeze. Alright, just gonna give it a bit. Sometimes it just needs to fix up. Okay. We are good. good coordination of item purchases. Vi is opting for a very much bursty, and, well, somewhat bursty, at least in the initial, and bruisery afterwards. Nico getting caught out, hit by Ivern and Sejuani, having a hard time moving, will be finished off by Sejuani as Vi tries to come in to help. This is not looking good for the soul point. Vi goes down also to the Sejuani. Kind of want the on the carries though. But hey, 2 kills and securing a map objective is still 2 kills and a map objective. Hopefully they can exert some pressure elsewhere onto the map as well. Give themselves a bit of breathing room from this difficult challenge they've had upon them. Smells gives some hope to Urgot. Out comes the Aurora ultimate. Flash flip from the Urgot as he will die to the Mel ultimate and execute compounded. Ivern flash root onto the Aurora. As Aurora does turn to kill the Mel, goes invisible, avoids the Q narrowly. This is going to be a lot of hurt. Who will just... Ivern gets out 639 gold bounty. Yo, okay. Alright, blast cone from Caitlyn. Vi should be able to prevent Ivern from getting out. Yep. No assist, however, that is strictly 300 gold that went to her. Very nice played by Ivern there. Was going to die, avoided a lot of stuff. And significantly cut down the amount of value that the opponents had in killing him. Jinx down here trying to push into the Urgot. Does have Sejuani on hand to give her a bit of assistance. Is rounding up. Alright. Jinx has disengaged, but okay. Mel is there to secure the minions in the middle lane. Jinx recall gets stopped. Urgot dashes over the traps, but will get caught by Urgot's ultimate for her death. Alright, Nico getting caught out, flashes in aggressively to the Mel, gets her caught out. Nico survives as Aurora tries to turn on the enemies even further. Ivern trying to go in behind the Caitlyn, gets caught out by the Vi, and the burst will just take him out. As was said, very nice coordination from this team. 5 gaze. Aurora trying to go in very aggressive onto the Morgana, but her team has left her. So, there comes the flash, will get stunned immediately afterwards. Super Mega Death Racket will provide the kill for Morgana. Caitlyn does finish off her 3rd completed item, as Nico is forced to recall, and cancel her recall. Is getting chased down by Sejuani. Ultimate comes out slow, will take effect. Goes through the root, avoids the slow. Alright, Vi will be hovering, so attempting this Baron is insanely dangerous. That rapid fire cannon, a single shot knocking Morgana down half her health. But only 2 people here. They do kind of have to back off, at least for now. Are doing what they can to stall it. Vi is in a dangerous spot, should be going down. Mel ultimate used up, but there's the Nico. Gets not quite low herself. One of blue team's allies has died, but Caitlyn and Vi are dead. Urgot not long afterwards. Aurora going to try and do what she can. Missile from Jinx tracking her position. There comes the Zanya. Seeker arm guard. Okay. Baron successfully stopped. Base exploding. Alright. May have been a lot of death for red team, but they did at least accomplish pushing blue side off and getting a couple kills in it for themselves. Mel, however, expanding her Dark Seal stacks. Alright. Yeah. Aura backed off. Mel will be able to pick up this wave. Oh. Okay. Guess not. There is a ward watching the exit spot. As the next Dragon Soul is coming up, or Soul Point. Danger pings, danger pings. Zema getting spotted. As the Infernal Dragon will be started. And taken out quickly. That will nab an Infernal Soul for 5 gaze. Elder Dragon up in the next 6 minutes. Baron is still up. Caitlyn will be devastating to interact with at this point. Root from Ivern, bit of damage from Mel. God is perfectly safe. Mel? Okay. No one turned. But, okay. That is a 4v5 situation at the moment. Urgot gonna push what he can to the bot side. Does not want his team to be fighting here. Sejuani passive is down, so anything that hits her will be hurting for a bit here. Urgot does not have teleport available to him, however. We trinket out. And Baron is started for round 2. Aurora is pretty far away, however, trying to decide which route she wants to go. Urgot taking some base in the meantime. Super Mega Death Racket comes out. Good Boy taking a lot of hurt. There was a block. Mel's W is on cooldown. Nico alt lands on 1, Root lands on 2. Mel ultimate comes out, Nico dies. Aurora's in a very tough spot. Caitlyn and Vi sitting on the east end together. Still going to try and continue to extend this as much as they can. Mel trying to reset to stop the havoc that Urgot is applying onto their base. Recall gets stopped. Blue team secures the Baron. One dies in return, however. Here come the Baron empowered recalls. Aurora not managing to stop anyone. Doesn't feel safe about it. Urgot does extract safely. That is 2 inhibitors down, with only 2 towers protecting the top side of Blue's base. Despite losing Baron, that was a very well-handled play from 5 gaze. 2 deaths for all that stalling, 1 kill, and 2 towers plus inhib. Sure, the mid lane inhib is back up, but having that opposite lane pressure just naturally pushing is incredibly good for him. I can't imagine what the Grievous Wound is for right now that Caitlyn purchased. Maybe for the Sejuani, but I feel like Nico or maybe Urgot would actually be better for Grievous Wounds on that. Ooh, Aurora ult coming out. Jinx gets caught. Dies quickly. Flash comes out. Morgana survives, but this should be a dead mid inhibitor. Ivern coming from the rear. Daisy getting caught by the root. Will go down pretty quickly. Out comes the heal. Doesn't really do much. Device somewhat isolated, does die. Sejuani gonna die not long afterwards. Massive damage from the Nico ultimate. Bell Reflect does go off, hits a couple of targets, but it won't be enough to save the match, as this should be game 2 towards the gays. Super Mega Death Rocket came out. 2 kills for Jinx. Unfortunately, not enough for the third, as game 1 indeed goes towards the gays. GG. Or 5 gays, not the gays. Alright, so what is game 3 then? Brandino saving Ivern passive for 4th dragon. Not sure how many more matches there are gonna be. As it stands, 5 gays is 1-0. S-Coin Froggy Style CK. And there is 1-1. Boss is 0-1. And round robin being the thing it is, I would assume it's boss and 5 gays next. And I would assume if 5 gays wins that, then that would probably be the last match. And if 5 gays loses, then they're back to even, and I don't know. Still unsure of what's next. Alright, looks like invite is sent.
Hey, what's going on, Arpies?
I was waiting for the invite.
I just invited you. I
Yeah,
just
I'm
gave
in
to
now.
the stream the plan since we talked it over I talked it over the 3 teams. If team 2, which is the team with Don Don, Tanglefish, Rurika, Sunflower, if that team were to win this, then they'll all be tied 1-1, and they all agreed on quick matches of brawl would be the option. So
Okay.
whereas if the team 1, which is Avo, Cleve, Messiah, War, and Zemo win, then that's your all stars, guys. I hope you guys have been enjoying the show. By the way, it's been fun to watch, and thank you for casting tonight, Arpies. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, I'll let you get back to the stream.
Alrighty. So you heard him. If 5 Gays wins, actually, I should. Okay, so 5 Gays is blue then? Alright. Gays blue, moss red. Alright, stuff is fixed up. Now just waiting for the draft code. Oh. Teams are very fairly balanced at present. That is not just any silver, it is the ultimate prodigy. In some cultures, silver is the pinnacle, and masters are nothing but pupils. Lifetime pupils. Ben said he was sorry for trolling me on draft. Alright, drafting for Game 3 and possibly the final match. of the series will have its beginning here. Got the BMing going on. You can finally win a game versus me for once. It's okay, Oscar. Alright. Bans are starting. I'm gonna refill my water again, because that went by really fast. Alright, first wave of bans finished up. Silas, Rel, and Nico for blue side. Ah, it looks like there is a name change. I'll just leave it as it is. It's a tad too negative, you know? Alright. B1 Karma, R1 Varus. R2 cycling through various things. Locking in the Lee Sin. I don't know why, but a part of that Lee Sin cropping makes it look like there's a line of dead pixels on my monitor, and it bugs me a bit. Because I know that I have no dead pixels, because I saw them move around when it got locked in with the expanding and closing. And Mila. And Shaco. The Karma first pick funny. There is the Maokai pick. for Moss. Fitting. Alright, second wave of bans comes out. The Shaco pick is really odd. He gets kind of hard countered in the Lee Sin, so. So we got the Irelia ban, we got Yorick covered for a ban, locked in. There is the Ari lock-in for the final ban on Moss End. And Yone for the final ban. Moss first pick on second wave, going to Rise. Five Gaze, following up with Urgot. And last selection, cycling. The Azir lock. Azir into Rise. What is this? MSI or I don't know. No, it's not. Legally, it's not. And Moss's final pick, opting for Jace. Strong composition on Moss's end. Not quite sure what to say about 5G's end. But it looks like they're trying to have some fun. Let's have at it. Oh no, I might need a re-invite. Okay, I'm good. Alright, see the actual picks. You see their laning positions at hand. Alright, Urgot into Rise, top. Lee Sin into Shaco jungle. It will not be an Azir versus Rise mid. That shall be a Jace into the Azir. Alrighty then. Since we got half the rosters picked, a bit of evaluation. Lee Sin should be perfectly ample against Shaco. But that kind of boils down to proper execution, so we'll see how that end goes. Rise and Urgot, again, kind of depends on how good the Rise is, because Rise is probably one of the most versatile champions in the game when it comes to performance and ability, utilization, all that stuff. You can generally tell kind of how good a person is, especially at playing mages, based off of how good their Rise is sometimes. Because he's a pretty darn solid guy. Azir into Jace, I want to say that it's a bit more Jace favored for the most part. Post 6, it can get a bit dicey, but well, I'm not quite sure how it is after all the changes that Azir got, but I can't really imagine that it'd be too particularly dangerous for him. I feel like either jungler could disrupt either the top or mid lane pretty darn well. Neela and Karma top versus Varus and Maokai. I want to say that it's notably more favored for the Varus and Maokai. Partially because, like, at least as Varus and, like, Samira, I don't really feel there's too much issues in general with that. And Nilla's kind of similar in a sense. The only real difference being how much Nilla can kind of run stuff down. But the ability appeal that Maokai can provide for Varus, as well as the swoons and all that stuff compounded with each other, I feel should be able to override anything that shields and whatnot should be able to provide for the Neil and Karma. But, again, the junglers are going to play a massive factor in this game, so regardless of how things look, it'll all come down to one thing. Pure, unfiltered luck. Or wait. I was reading the wrong script. Pure skill and concentrated power of will with only 15% luck. So it's not actually concentrated unless you're talking about, like, from concentrate. So it's a bit distilled luck. Or wait, would distilled be concentrate? Probably? I don't know. Alright, match should be starting soon. I would say we have 2 minutes left, but as history has shown, the matches like to start way before that 3-minute timer finishes, so I'll get stuff ready. Beforehand. Kinda. My hand is on the the scene swapping. Do 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 do. Oh yeah. I should reiterate, if this match finishes in a victory for Moss, the all three teams will be 1-1 at that point. Presently 5Gay is 1-0, Moss is 0-1, and 5Gay having defeated S-Coin Froggy Style CK in the previous match, who had defeated Moss. Forgot the name of whatever. But basically, if 5Gay wins, that will be the deciding outcome, as all teams will have their own score. But if Moss wins, it will go into a series of brawl matches because they are quicker, and it is getting late.
Transformation complete. Cannon engaged.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Yet another
30 seconds until minions
cheeky
spawn.
top lane venture. Find no one.
Hammer time.
Deciding to seek out even further for the Urgot. They will spot him. There comes the twisted advance. Flash from Urgot. 2 more flashes. That is 3 flashes for 1 kill and a flash. But only Lee Sin and Maokai have been flashed and have been pinged. And the kill went towards Jace, who did not go for a reset. He'll probably be waiting at least for 1 or 2 long swords to get with his tier. Might be better for him. Very strong start, as Maokai takes a lot of hurt at the beginning. Wasn't able to use his passive with the disengage there. But that should be good enough. Lee Sin rounding to the bot lane. There comes the flash from Karma. And the Nilla flash. As Shaco's taken his turn now. Going for the Lee Sin. Lee Sin should get out with his life. Will not be able to. That Nilla does die to the Varus and Maokai. We'll back up just to see how it happened. Alright, twisted advance into Maokai Q and no escape since... Yeah. Karma gets out with her life, but not a great state for him at this point. On 5Gay's side. Avalon looking to get a kill here on the Jace. Jace goes in aggressive, won't amount to much. It looked like, what, a 15 gold bounty that Azir got there? That's kind of funny. Kind of weird. Shaco still terrorizing Lee Sin some. Q landed. Shaco does escape. Grubs will be up in 4 more minutes. Boss is 1 kill away from their first feat. And Shaco coming over to terrorize Lee Sin once more. Does not manage to land the smite. But he is going to aim for a play topside. Seems to fail the Q. There comes the fear. Azir flashes. And not Azir, Rise flashes. As Jace, incredibly low, will get caught by the Q. Nice gank from Karma. That is 2 kills now towards, or for Azir. Karma safely venturing back to the bottom lane. Level 4, kind of funny, considering Nilla was able to get some solo XP. Although, you know, for Nilla, solo XP is not really ideal, because then you don't utilize her passive all that much. Bit of aggression here. Not sure if it's really necessary, though, because they missed a couple of minions. They're behind as it is. Nilla needs that golden XP pretty badly. Otherwise, she's just going to fall behind. Maokai just sitting himself into quite aggressive positioning. Rise has been sitting super low on mana for quite some time. Has a lot for a back, however. Maokai still just putting ample pressure. There comes the sapling. Lee Sin on the side. Root came out. Karma is gone. First feat achieved. Nilla coming out. Going for Maokai. Secured the kill. And not really much that Shaco seems to be able to do here. He is a very squishy boy early on. Varus doesn't really care about that. Fair Q, but the cooldown refund wasn't all that great. Does still have barrier. Did expend his flash. As Maokai may get... Nope, not spotted out. Shaco getting a bit of sustenance. Lee Sin taking camps. Nice Azir ult under the tower. Does cost Jace his flash once again, but makes him significantly more vulnerable to ganks from already successful attempts. Moss establishing a pretty solid lead early on. First dragon, however, going to 5 gaze. Windrake actually should be able to help out Nilla with that. And Shaco, actually. Oof, forgot flash charged. He doesn't have teleport available to him, so this recall could be pretty bad. Oh, okay. He was able to catch the wave. Not the worst. Nilla trying to go aggressive, but doesn't have very much health. Is going to take a lot of hurt. However, flashed away from the WQ. That is a long cooldown the Bears is going to have to wait out, even with reductions. But, ooh, incredibly well handled by Lee Sin. And a pretty darn well placed Maokai ult at that. And nice sapling to give them significantly more safety. That is basically the things that make Maokai pretty darn great. Is reliable hard CC against most targets. Granted, if you use it badly, you can kind of get yourself killed. As well as just the general don't come here presence that the saplings give him. And, you know, his ultimate, ever since they buffed it, making him very high presence. Gold lead just slowly widening. Grubs are still up, haven't been taken out the first time around yet. Doesn't seem like it's gonna be going into that direction. Although Karma is rounding around the middle of the map at this point, maybe we'll see one move. Okay, Lee will be on the scuttles now. Jace put into a really bad spot. There comes Karma from the rear for the slow. Kill going to Azir. Is this a dive? Alright, Lee Sin gets one Void Grub. Alright, and Nilla mostly fine. Ward down, Jace back. 2 Void Grubs for the Shaco. Karma exceptionally low. Now, while Karma's healing can be an absolute pain to deal with, especially as a melee champion, the fact that Varus has built-in Grievous Wounds can be horrible. I don't think Karma needed to flash that. Very nice Q from Maokai. Nilla going really heavy. Kill on Varus secured. And sometimes I don't understand the damage coming out from Nilla. Like, I know that the big chunk at the end was Karma, but that was pretty silly. But good on them. Nilla's an exceptionally good snowball champion. If they can get something from this, it's really nice. 3-man gank up top for the Rise, but he's pretty far out. Flash comes out, opting not to go for a tower dive, but Rise does take a couple extra hits. No teleports to get to mid other than the Urgot, but I doubt that he's going to be the one to head there. Jace sitting on the Opportunist. Decides now to head out. Will be safe. Allegedly. Shaco taking a bit of poke here and there. Lee Sin buying Q over the wall and knocking Shaco less than half of his health. Throwing Karma towards Maokai. We got 4 people right there prep for the dragon. Maokai ultimate comes out, misses most targets. Nilla flashes out, does still have 3 stacks. Do get procced by Varus. That's a tad bit of refund for him to work with. But that is 2, 3 ultimates on cooldown. Okay. Jace kills Shaco. That should be a free dragon for Moss. And indeed looks that way. Rise going pretty aggressive onto the Urgot, but I don't really think it's going to amount to much other than pressuring himself too much. But Lee Sin is there to counteract Shaco should he appear. Does step away, but I think he was spotted. Oh no, that's a friendly board over. Walks over the Tribush. Does see Lee Sin thanks to the chemical Scryer Bloom. Nice avoid of the flip from, or by Lee Sin from the Urgot. Teleport from Rise, trying to get out, does not get stopped by the Shaco clone fear. Alright, first tower down. That is 2 feats claimed for Moss. Finally. Oh, yeah. Second tower down. As Jace is going to try and defend his outer turret. But with that low health, can get pretty dicey. Varus coming to give a bit of safety to the lane. Alright, Lee Sin Q falling just shy of reaching Karma. Alright, looks like we might be rounding up for a lot of presence for both sides near Rift Herald. Lee Sin getting caught out, however. Does get executed by Urgot. Nice damage from the Varus. Maokai tries to time his Twisted Advance with the Shaco Q. Doesn't manage quite to do so. Shaco will get away unscathed. Jace coming in to take out Urgot, however, that damage incredible. 2 completed items, one of which just needs a tad more to be truly finished. Doing a heck of a lot of damage to Urgot with 0 armor items. I say from Urgot. Ooh, Varus ult lands, but will back off. Q coming out to hit the Nilla. Really kind of sucks being low health on Nilla. Makes every engagement a bit scary to go in. Really want to see how they manage to handle this match. High aggression going on to the Varus. Should be hit by the root here. Shaco coming in on the rear. Yet another slow. Will get hit once, twice. There comes the Shaco ultimate. Will get away successfully. Nilla in a really bad spot. Should go down very quickly as she does. That was a flash and exhaust used by Maokai. This Rift Herald should be going for Moss, as Jace is once again chasing down Urgot. He will get caught by the Maokai ultimate. Urgot trying to turn, but the damage is just too much. looks like 5Gs will at least try and take this first Chemtech Drake, as a Rift Herald is sent along the top side of the map. Jace will be able to crack pretty deep into the base with this. Should be a fair trade in his eyes. As a fight going on in the mid, Varus ultimate lands onto Nilla, not before she takes out Maokai. Very nice Azir ult comes out, health ticking down from Varus, doing what he can. Azir knocked substantially low, will be killed by Ryze. Ryze taking this time to back off. Clone taken out. Varus is safe at this point. Jace doing quite a number onto Urgot. Did take out the inhibitor. He did his job getting out head held high. 2.4k gold to spend. Ryze sitting on quite a bit himself. Wouldn't it be a bad time for him to just go back at this point? Doesn't realize there's a Shaco box right there. Oreo's just deftly dancing around it. Alright, Seraph's Embrace ready. Or wait. Yeah. Yeah. And Jace spending his gold on Cyrilda. Gonna be putting an even bigger lead over his opponents. And that is a lot of poke that's gonna be hurting. Not a single armor item, however, purchased from 5Gs. No steal in sight as Atacon goes down. Shaco's managing to output a fair amount of damage whenever any boxes hit targets, but I don't think that he got quite enough AP to have that damage be enough of a difference. Azir ultimate is avoided by everyone due to the Twisted Advance. So he goes down pretty quickly. Ooh, Ryze coming in from the rear. We'll get a root onto Nilla. Jace takes out Karma while Nilla succumbs to Varus. Alright, this is quickly looking like it will be a full 1-1-1. Boss has been playing exceptionally well thus far, so we can look to those brawl matches. Jace should be fine on his escape. You see, the funny thing about, like, Shaco using Comet is that, like, if he hides like that, you can see exactly where he is from the source the Comet sprouted from. And it kinda, it feels like oftentimes people don't pay attention to that. Ooh, Jace going for the Shaco. True Vision caught onto him, however. Nice QE from Jace. Ryze is pushing the bottom side of the map. Going up against Urgot, just like old times. Azir tower up, Azir tower down. Flash from Maokai. Karma out for the count. Nice flash root onto the Nilla. There comes the... Ooh. Urgot doing some work! Securing 2 kills for his team. 3. Shaco is up. Will he be able to cause enough disruption in the push here to keep them alive? Very fortunate timing for the Urgot with the Zanyas. Gave a bit of breathing room that did manage to secure those takeouts. Karma in a very bad spot, does not have flash available to her, will die. Urgot ultimate did come out. Will manage to pull the execute and land the fear, but will not quite be enough. 2 of his allies are down. Boss is running over for Baron. Or I guess blue buff. Sing getting a tad of health before swapping his focus. 2 wards spotted, but not quite gonna matter. Ooh, Varus taking a lot of hurt from that. Nice realm gate. Mila trying to do something against this here Ryze. Health dropping pretty fast. Being a champ that can avoid auto attacks doesn't do much for you when those auto attacks are spells. Jace trying to get out. Will be chased down by Shaco, but Sapling catches him out and lets Jace out safely. He does have teleport to work his way back at the very least. Maokai ult comes out to give his teammate some safety. Take the inhibitor. It's 3 defenders, one of which not really doing much, unfortunately. Azir dies to the Varus snipe, Shaco as well. Nilla go down last, and then not last as Karma's back up. But That is game number 3. 1, 1, 1. Alright, and it looks like we will be moving to brawl matches. Oh. As that brings Moss to a 1-1 and 5 Gaze to a 1-1. I am feeling a tad tired. Alright, see what's up in the BC.
That would make things a little awkward.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello. Or we can rock paper scissors for who wins, and then not play brawl.
Well, that's crazy.
Look at all these people. This is awesome.
Let's pick 2 people from each team and make them play TFT.
Yeah, see?
Is that like a punishment or?
Yeah, punishment.
Cho'Gath 1v1, Cho'Gath 1v1, Cho'Gath 1v1, Cho'Gath 1v1.
Alright,
Sir,
hold
yes,
on.
sir.
Hold on. Do we have any members of Team 2 left?
Team 1?
Or Team 1, yeah.
Not sure.
I don't think so.
Alright. 1v1s?
Hell yeah.
Sure. Is it just like whoever wins the most 1v1s out of the 5?
No, because unfortunately 90% of team 1 team went to bed, so kind of doomed.
Me versus Don Don.
I'm on your team.
GG's.
What do we have? Like 10 people left? You just want to random into brawl or something?
Oh, Evo's back. We got Evo back. Here we go. Maybe 2v2s. I mean, I don't care what you guys really want to do, but it is 1-1-1, sadly, and the other team pretty much everybody left, so
Wait, is Arena out? Oh, she will.
there's
You
no
could, you
reason.
could add them. Come back.
They said they're done.
Oh,
I
okay.
nominate Team 3's champion, Good Boy, for a Team 2 1v1.
All right, All-Star champion is between your two teams. Their whole team is in bed, and someone's like, I'm gonna go eat. So I guess team 1 is forfeiting. It's between you two guys. You guys choose what you want to do. I'm okay with
Well, if
it.
it's
Team
just
3
the
forfeit.
if Team
ARAM.
1's FFing, then yeah,
ARAM.
then we can just ARAM it.
Yeah,
I
we
like
can
it.
ARAM.
Sure.
All right,
Yeah,
ARAM for
and
the
it-
All-Star champ, baby.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, it wouldn't be the first time.
It would not be the first time. Not at
It would
all.
not.
I'll set it up.
What a meme.
Like random? All random? Or
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's cool.
Okay, let's do it.
do regular ARAM.
oh, Brandino has it.
I'm inviting a million people. I don't even know who's on what team.
Brandino's game for everyone that doesn't have.
May the best team win, guys. Thank you all for attending and hanging out. It was fun. I want to thank the other team too that went bed.
And whichever
So-
team wins, everyone gets the Kai'Sa skin, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What a joke.
Alright,
We
James
don't
just has to buy it all.
we don't give skins
Sponsored
anymore.
by Hairwiz.
We don't give skins anymore for All Stars victories. This is all for just straight up pride and victory points in your head, you know. But yeah, if you guys want something like that, you'll have to put in money for donations on that one. Maybe next split, you guys can be the start of it. You guys will all donate towards the cause, the All Star, the All Star skins. So, but I'll let you guys get to it then. I'm gonna go chill out. Our prize, thanks again for casting. I know he's here just to see what was going on. He'll finish up, and I'm gonna go relax. I might catch the end of that stuff, and I'll see you guys all soon. But thanks again.
GG.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The leave button around here. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Holy moly! All right, there it is.
Have fun. I am tired. But deciding the last match in a 1v or in a ARAM, that is fine. It is less matches, but you know, ARAM is better than Brawl. And while there is, you know, 1 or 2 less matches to see, I'd probably pass out if we had to go long. Just saying. Alright, this stuff is going to be decided here. Uh, uh if I recall, Brandino was... What's it? S, C, or coin, froggy, style, CK. And then there we go. Oh, rip. Red side got Yumi. And it looks like we are in the final countdown. Who are you all rooting for? Red or blue? Because names are avoiding me right now. Yo, this is such a long time. Why does ARAM even have a timer? It's not like it's ranked or anything, or it's something that could be interpreted as for ranked or anything. It's silly. Alright, enjoy this glorious finale. Snowball on Yumi. Huh. Oh well, this is or wait, yeah, I think red team is boss. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that red team is Moss. Am I correct in this? I'm sorry. Yes. Or wait, it's Fiora that said Moss. Fiora is blue. Here comes the fight. Maokai, first death. Yasuo going in, taking some hurt. There comes the Seraphine double Q, missing everything. E missing everything. Lots of abilities come out, nothing landing except the Rek'Sai Q in the tunnel. Here comes the warp in from base, and Maokai already taking double hit from the Vel'Koz alongside his teammate. Vel'Koz still popping out those Qs in tunnel form while seeding some tunnels around the map for themselves. Talia throwing what she can, gets knocked up by the Vel'Koz as Maokai turns it around. Fiora sends her riposte out, only to be taken out by Yasuo. Takes a bit of hurt himself, but not quite gonna matter as his wind wall stops the masses of it. Does get knocked up by Vel'Koz for mistakenly walking near as Garen presses E and spins to win into everything. Yasuo and Yumi going down together forever. As, yeah. That Maokai tried to hide behind the tower, but Vel'Koz could see him. That's an unfortunate side effect of bird's eye view. Alright, that's a lot of Fiora weak points there, one of each direction almost. A lot of poke going out, Yasuo going in yet again, but Garen slaps his silence, so he's gotta back all. There comes the Maokai yet again, splitting people up. Splitting his lifespan to going down to the constant barrage of AoEs. Yasuo trying to go in once again, only to get perpetually knocked up. Way flinging what he can, but nothing really coming of it. Here comes the Rek'Sai aiming for a knock-up, does get it onto the Yumi, dies to the Yumi, while Vel'Koz takes her out himself. Way annihilating the Fiora with the aid of two Valiant towers. Here comes the Yasuo aiming for a kill on Seraphine, manages to get it alongside two tower hits to the face. Tries to E out, but unsuccessfully. There comes the Vel'Koz ultimate, securing the Talia's death. As Maokai once again jumps into his doom. Match looking close thus far, 13-5. As yet another Yasuo comes diving in. Rek'Sai ults to try and avoid the 2 towers. Kill going to Yuumi yet again, who attaches herself to the Yasuo. Seraphine ultimate going wide of everyone. Yasuo going ham, but not enough to get a kill. Lots of damage output though. Quay Comet sealing his own. There's the Rek'Sai getting the knock up onto Yasuo. Escapes, barely avoiding that second tower hit. Rek'Sai going in yet again, gets that secondary knock up. Quay super low. Might want to get executed here sometime soon. Stun going out, lands on Yasuo. Ooh, perfect lineup for Vel'Koz's laser. And this should be the first tower destroyed for S-Coin Froggy style CK. Maybe 2 towers as well? Pretty wild if true. Alright, Garen just going into his doom. Bit over 1,000 gold to spend. Wanted to be a bit of a diversion. Fiora killing herself with him. Rek'Sai going out to safety. Here comes Yasuo going pretty ham. Will get knocked up and disrupted. Maokai going in. Or no, that's Quay, not Maokai. There's Maokai going in. Manages to successfully lead to a kill for once. Vel'Koz laser comes out. Yasuo presses R to save his life and get a kill. Wonderful job there as Yuumi avoids death herself. Here comes Maokai, heals up a tad. Not going to be quite enough as Fiora tries to chase down Wei. But he's at safe spots. I smell a tower dive next minion wave. Oh, nope. Much earlier than that. Goes a bit awry. So it leads to 2 kills for Talia. Yasuo going in heavy again. It does not have ultimate at the ready for the double knockup. Some Qs going here and there. Mana supply did not due to Yasuo not having mana. Does get hit, but shields block it all. Rek'Sai sitting right there to disrupt him. Garen spinning, not quite winning, will get chained as another Vel'Koz laser comes out to delete the health of his opponents. Vel'Koz is an absolute menace, especially in a match where you're basically fighting in such a tight corridor. Honestly, Talia ultimate is very counterproductive for her team because of it. But Vel'Koz's team is also doing a pretty good job of setting the enemy up for those tight lasers. So. And that was the second tower going down. Yasuo going in a backline, trying to do what he can. Here comes the flash out from Seraphine, trying to get to safety. Snowballs in from Yasuo, but not going to be able to finish off that kill. As 3 people of SCFSCK keep getting out with their lives. Vel'Koz pops his ultimate to finish off a 100 health Talia. As Vel'Koz tower diving to try and take out Yuumi. Kill going to Yuumi is not the worst thing. Kill going to Yasuo could be a bit problematic though. As Fiora deftly parries, comes Yasuo to finish off taking the gold from the Vel'Koz. Flash in from Maokai, followed by a mark to finish off the Fiora. Garen once again trying to spin to win, taking a lot of pain for it. Here comes the Vel'Koz laser yet again. Only manages to proc his passive, not much more. As Talia goes down mightily quickly after getting caught out by the Vel'Koz. Seraphine ultimate lands beautifully onto Yumi, hopping off to try and save her life, as Maokai's kind of destined for his own death here. Alright, Fiora landing their post, but looks like she's gonna die. As Maokai and Garen are having a bit of a dance-off. Alright, Rek'Sai getting pretty low. Many flashes being used up. Yasuo throws out his Q3 a tad too late, unfortunately, as he... Oh no, that was Hui, not Yasuo. Yasuo died to someone else. Alright, a lot of pressure being put onto Moss. Rek'Sai ultimate comes out to get shunted into the rocks. Not long afterwards, will go down for another knockup yet, and manages to survive just a bit longer. Yumi getting yet another kill. Nice Fiora riposte. Hui and Yasuo both getting themselves a couple more kills. Yasuo looks to be going for a Bork next, maybe? Or is Bork not good anymore on them? I don't know. Garen taking out Talia. She dropped pretty low. Thought he was going to chase her, but he didn't. He also all coming out, blocking so much damage with those shields. Yumi finally surrendering her doom. That is a lot of tunnels for Rek'Sai. Ooh, that riposte was almost the perfect timing that was needed. A lot of damage hitting on that Rek'Sai. Hui ult hitting for a bit. Here comes Yasuo yet again. Not silenced yet. There comes the knockup. Now he's silenced. There's the root. Everyone's kind of away from him, so there's the Vel'Koz ult to finish him off. Garen just running around trying to do what he can while not dying, as is routine. Considerable amount of pressure being put onto Moss. Still no towers yet, unfortunately for them. That was a beautiful Maokai ult. Aesthetics. That was to deter the enemy from diving into you. Right, went in yet again to his death. Yasuo ult coming out for the Seraphine as Vel'Koz takes out his Hui. Yumi is all that is left there, well, and the Talia. A few more seconds for Yumi to get it away. Dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. As you can tell, there is very high effort in that fight going there. It was impossible for Vel'Koz to do anything to the Yumi. Beautiful knockup. Vel'Koz ult yet again. Ooh. Two enemies kind of lined up themselves for that. Yasuo ult will not be enough to take out the Garen as he was spinning. Alright, Fiora dies to the pile of pebbles. Wave. Dead. Alright, Hui, what have you got for us? You have an ult. You have 2.5 items. And Vel'Koz ult is almost back up. And you're burning. Not quite dead yet. Alright, Maokai going for the Vel'Koz, who did kill Hui. We'll be shifting his focus over to the Yasuo here, who's trying to take on his entire team, as Yuumi dies immediately afterwards. Nice snowball from Fiora going hard onto Taliyah. Maokai very low himself. Rek'Sai waiting for his team to get close enough to properly go aggro. Nice mark from Maokai to take out Seraphine pretty quickly. Hui with the wave clear. Garrett taking out the first tower, as Rek'Sai will tunnel away. Fiora coming into the Yasuo. Nice stun. Alright. 3-on-2 getting hunted down. Knock up to get finished off. What's a goal? Maokai hopping over, gets knocked up himself. What have you got for us, Fiora? Aiming for the Hui instead. Okay. Right. Tower hitting Rek'Sai a few times. They are very eager to kill Yuumi here. Yuumi will die. Rek'Sai not long after. It was a bit inevitable, but looks like they will be able to push the minions into the tower once more. Yasuo dead. Second tower, a few shots from dead. And all that is left is red team's Nexus. That will secure the victory. Ooh. Alright, half health. Fountain dive, and that will be game. Victory for S Coin Frog style CK as the ultimate victor of LOLMidwest All-Stars. Alright. Good game. Hope everyone had a great night. I am very tired. I didn't transition. Yeah, repeat. I'm very tired. Props to everyone. Fun matches to check out. All the basic matches were all pretty darn close. So good on everyone. Even turnout of the main games was pretty nice to see. And the ARAM is very much silly. Hope everyone has a fantastic night. Once again, be wary with this upcoming week, as it will be very hot. With that, everyone have fun and stuff, and good night.